In the beginning, there was Rena and Kelly. Through gym sessions, coffee dates, road trips, life crises, and enough inside jokes to confuse everyone around us, we became best friends. The kind of friendship where if you know one of us, you've definitely heard stories about the other. Then one of us decided to move 1,000 kilometers away. Welcome to Faraway Friends, where we talk about friendship, fitness, family, travel, and whatever else comes up when two best friends try to stay connected across the miles. Hi, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Rena, and we are the hosts of the podcast Faraway Friends.
And this is our first episode.
Oh, motherfucker.
Okay, well, that's how we're going to start. We decided to start this podcast because one of us is moving very far away, and we are the best friends.
The
We are the
bestest ever.
bestest. Yeah. So we started this podcast so that we can maintain a really good friendship and check in with each other consistently and be conscious of making that effort every week.
Yeah, we just want to
It's
make
very
sure
fun.
that we're being really intentional about staying close and supporting each other just the same as we do when we're in the same city. So
Yeah. Or
yeah.
for this episode, in the same house, in
In the
separate
same
rooms,
house. Yes.
like weirdos. So we're going to start today off, and every podcast off, with what was your headline of the week?
So my headline of the week was I was really sick last week. So I finally felt better this week and I was able to get back in the gym, and it just felt really good to get back under the bar and have some weight on my back. And yeah, even though it killed my legs, but it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen.
What
Take a
about,
week off and you've lost all of your progress. No
yeah,
big
all of my
deal.
progress is gone. It's basically like I'm starting all over again.
You're like a baby giraffe.
Yeah, exactly. And what about you? What's your headline of the week?
My headline of the week was I had brunch with my family, which I don't get together with all of them at the same time, but my daughter graduated last week from university, so we all got together to celebrate her.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
proud of her. I can't believe that she is all grown up. It's
I know.
crazy.
Yeah. So we became friends 13 years ago.
13? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've known
And
each other much longer than that. We just actually became friends. Yeah.
yeah, because both of our daughters danced together
And went
and
to
they went to
daycare
the same
together.
daycare. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they were actually friends. We actually would see each other in passing. We would, drop our girls off for birthday parties, but it was always kind of like, hey, quick, bye, hey, bye, whatever. Yeah,
You thought
it
I was a
was,
bitch?
and I mean, you thought I was a whore, I guess. I don't know what you thought, but I think you thought I was a whore. I'm not entirely sure why, but we won't get into that. But clearly we had the wrong impressions of each other.
Except for most people would probably still agree with you to this day that I am kind of a bitch.
No, you aren't. No, you aren't. It's all an act. It's pretend. You're a pretend bitch.
Okay, fair enough. You're the real bitch.
It's always the ones that smile more that you have to worry about.
Yeah,
People just think you're a
absolutely.
bitch because you have resting bitch face, but
Well,
I'm
that's
like smiling
you.
and I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah. No, everybody knows. Don't worry. You give off an aura.
Yeah, right.
So
Um, yeah. So when did
we,
it start? Our girls were in dance competition.
yeah. And it was when I found out, and this started a very long line of us being friends, but you being quite a bit more thoughtful. I had mentioned that we were going to be in this dance competition, and it was my birthday. And I was like, "Oh, another birthday spent in Moose Jaw at a dance competition." And you showed up with glittery Gerber daisies for me.
And I
And
didn't know that those were your favorite. I didn't know.
because they weren't
I thought
my
they
favorite,
were.
no, they became my favorite
Oh,
flower
they became your favorite. You're
because you
welcome.
brought them for me for my birthday. But
Yeah.
it was so thoughtful, and I'm not a public crier. We know that. And yet I almost cried.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't know
because it
that.
was just one of those things that, we're busy, we have kids. I was
Yeah.
married at the time and we had so much going on, but yeah, you bought me flowers and it was very nice and I was like, well, I pick her.
Aw.
but
I
not
didn't
really.
real I don't know. I thought why I thought they were your favorite flowers after, but I guess they just became your favorite. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
And then
pretty
we
much
kind
right
of
in that
like
moment.
it was right in that moment. You're like, okay, these are my favorite now. Because this amazing girl bought these for me and she's the best in the whole world.
Well, and we had never really had a conversation outside of how's
Yeah, just
area
in
doing?
passing.
Yeah, just how are the kids doing? And it kind of changed everything. And then we went on a double date with the girls.
Yeah.
We went to a
Yeah.
movie
Our
and
first date
sushi.
we went for sushi and we went to a movie. I don't what do you remember what movie it was?
I don't at all.
I don't remember either.
No, something
Um,
for the kids.
it must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not long after that, we got the girls One Direction tickets in Winnipeg. And remember, the girls were like, I feel like because so much time passed between when we bought the tickets and when the concert actually was, like they weren't even really into One Direction anymore. It was
So,
kind of,
do you know
oh,
what it
but wait.
was? It was because Zayn left One
Oh,
Direction. No,
right.
Harry Styles. One of them had left, and we didn't listen to them, but we got them for them at Christmas. And then it was in the following summer that we went to
And
Winnipeg
then
for
by
it.
that time, they weren't even really interested in being there. I think we were more excited about being there.
Yeah, we listened to One Direction the whole way there to learn all of their songs. We were
Yeah.
obnoxious. Like
Yeah.
we were so excited.
But that wasn't the first time we got together. We did that Color Me Rad run. That was the first thing we did. We ran, supposedly.
Yeah, which at that time, ugh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was no running. It was walking, but it was still fun.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it was. We had a really good time, but it was the first time that we had ever gone away together.
and we stayed, that was the first time, like we stayed in a hotel. And I remember you being like, you don't have eyebrows in the morning.
Listen, I felt like every man who's ever been deceived by makeup at that point. It was shocking.
But I do have eyebrows. They're just sparse.
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
same way. We both know that. But I, at that point, didn't ever color my eyebrows in.
right.
And
I had been deceiving you.
yeah. And then I
Yeah.
was like, wait, would I look like I have a whole face if I also put eyebrows on?
Would people actually be able to tell my expressions?
Yeah, when I'm surprised. Because at that point, I was young enough, I didn't have these what the fuck lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I guess from there, yeah, we just started spending more and more time together. Both of us were married at the time, so we would get together for barbecues with the kids, but we also would do sort of like girls' nights, just the two of us, where we would drink copious amounts of wine and eat disgusting amounts of disgusting food and watch, like Sex in the City. I think that was
Yeah.
mainly,
That was when you introduced me to Chris Stapleton,
I was just going to say that. I remember that night.
which
That
is
because I
surprising
had,
considering the amount we drank.
yeah, it's surprising for sure. Oh my God, we drank stupid amounts. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was our friendship.
That's when our love for Chris Stapleton started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was crazy for you to introduce me to a country artist.
For sure.
Yeah.
But Chris Stapleton, it's, I, he's on another level. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah, then from there, so yeah, that was probably the first, I don't know, 7 years of our friendship, 7, 8. It was mostly just around drinking and eating excessively and maybe taking, an edible every once in a while and laughing our
Yeah.
asses off. But
Yeah.
the common theme was eating a lot of.
And being lazy, like not doing anything, just sitting around. And that was the goal most of the time. And and we've talked about it so much since then, how much has changed in our friendship and not just in our lives, because obviously we've both gone through major life transitions since then, but being in a situation where a lot of what we do focuses around either bettering ourselves um, or going beyond that and going to the gym. I mean, we're in the gym regularly. And if it
That's most
wasn't
of
for
the time when
you,
we see each other is
yeah,
at the gym. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah, it's
taking
changed
different
a lot.
paths to get there. Like I started seeing Kevin right after I went through my divorce,
Yeah.
and that was great. What got me into lifting weights. And then the following year, you started at
Empowered. Empowered
Empowered.
fitness. Yeah.
And within a couple months, you started focusing on becoming a trainer.
Well, the funny thing is, when I started that too, it was my mentality was very much like the same mentality I always had was like, this was going to be a quick fix. Like, I signed up for a 30-day challenge and I didn't think I would continue on after that, which
Mm.
is wild. Like, that was exactly what the issue was through my whole adult life of these like quick fits or quick fixes and fad diets and all that shit. But I absolutely fell in love with lifting. And yeah, like the coach at that gym encouraged me to become a trainer. He was like, you'd be really good at this. And it never even occurred to me. And then, yeah, that's kind of within less than a year, I was certified and then COVID ruined everything. But like we still, our journey just sort of evolved. Then that was basically like our life, our, not our life, but our friendship was more centered around like, when are we going to go to the gym together? When are we going to go hiking? When are we going to go for a walk around Wascana Lake? Like it was like total 180.
Yeah. And even though we were both still in kind of different places, especially when COVID hit, that really solidified our friendship too. Like it became the next level because I had initially gone through so much during my divorce and then the next year and just kind of everything that changes with that. And then after COVID, or not after COVID, but right during COVID is when you went through your divorce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And both of us, were kind of in the same position of being in our late 30s or early 40s and now having to figure everything out in a different way with kids that were growing up, kids that were older. Um, so we've always come in and out of the same positions together, essentially, major life transitions, but now we're in the same position where our kids are grown up. My
Yeah.
son's in grade 12, my daughter's graduated university. Your kids are
Yeah. They're
like,
like, they're grown up areas on her own. Elijah's 19. They're grown up. They're self-sufficient. And yeah,
mhm.
it's completely different than when we first met. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's crazy to think about when we were training together all the time at any time. We, I was n- working out Winter's football schedule so that I could train while he was at his practice.
And then rushing
And
to go pick him up.
yeah, and
Yeah.
mm, every year when football would start, we would have to adjust our training schedule. And yeah, we just our life has been about the gym in one way or another since 2020 together anyway.
Yep. Yep. 2020 or late. I feel like late 2019.
Well, late 2019 is when you started, for
Yeah.
sure, because that's
Yeah.
when you'd started in June of 2019. But I didn't really start with you until 2020, the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
true.
then,
Yeah. You were coming to my classes that I was holding at Empowered like early in the morning. Yeah.
yeah, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's crazy to think back to that.
absolutely. And then
Yeah.
everything changed with that. That was the year that my family sold their business and I found a new job. And it's, it's, it's crazy to think about how much has changed, but our friendship has pretty much gotten stronger. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we communicate really well, even though we are completely different.
So different. Like, couldn't be more opposite.
From even like nothing frustrates me more than losing control. So the idea of crying if I'm upset is so frustrating to me. And
Yeah.
that is just not you.
And for me, like there was a time where there was, I would be embarrassed if I cried, but now I'm like, whatever. It's just who I am. And like I could cry when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm mad. And sometimes it's like I could be super frustrated and it's like I don't want this to come out as tears right now because it's showing that I'm weak sometimes. Or like if I'm angry, but yeah, it's just I think that it's a good thing to cry. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't realize the other day I was thinking about it because I had said that we don't have a lot of boundaries in our friendship. And then I said we only have one and we're not going to mention it, but we have one and that will stay until the end of time. Keep
You
that in
think there's
mind.
only one?
There's one, but then you said, so I'm allowed to hug you whenever I want. And I said, don't you already? And you were like, no, I've hugged you twice this year. And I was like, two times more than you needed to.
Like I would literally hug you every single time I see you if I didn't know how much you hated it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I just force it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would literally hug you. Like every single time I see my kids, my mom, like I hug them. So I would absolutely do the same to you if I knew that you weren't like, ugh, she's hugging me. Like,
I
and you
mean,
will literally do that. You'll be like, oh, we're hugging. Like you
every
maybe not
single
so much
time.
now, but
Yeah. But it's one of those things that, as I've said, I I am not comfortable with physical touch that way. Like it's funny for somebody who is a physical touch person, I'm really uncomfortable with hugging people. But I have told you, like Krista just hugs me. That's just been the way she is. Dana just hugs me.
yeah,
So I'm used to it. And so I guess you could just do it.
I need to
And then
start
I would just
forcing you
become,
more.
well, and here's the problem is now every time you see me, you can hug me because we'll have been far away.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you're moving.
Yeah. Just so that I can hug you every time I see you. I'm gonna move just for this reason.
Yeah, this makes sense to me. I would,
All
this
about
seems
you,
like something I would do.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I
So,
want I want to tell one story
okay.
about our friendship, which would be the first time we took an edible together.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So it was my birthday and you asked me what I wanted and I said I wanted a hotel room with no kids and I didn't talk about an edible. We were just a hotel room with no kids, some wine, some junk food, and I just wanted to spend the night and sleep until I wasn't tired anymore. And then you surprised me with cookies. And that was the first time I had ever had an edible
Wait.
because back in
Oh,
high
no, it
school,
wasn't the
that
first
wasn't a
time.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then I
I
had been
had
a
I had
mom.
tried it before. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had no concept about what was going to happen. And apparently, either did you, because nothing happened for so long that we decided to eat more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we went to Superstore, and that's when I found out the only reason I know things don't break is because you have acrylic nails.
No,
And
you were
then
like, "What would you do?
how would you know this
How
was
would
glass
how would you
if
know?"
you
And you
couldn't
were
tap on it?
but it wasn't even like you didn't verbalize that. You were just like walking through Superstore like clicking your nails on all the random things and I was just like, "What is she doing?" And you were like, "I just realized that if I didn't have nails, I wouldn't know if this was glass or plastic." And then we were
And
like
then
wheeze laughing in the middle of Superstore. People were
because
like, "What is happening?"
I was so confused, I was like, would you have to smash it on the ground? And that's when I decided to use self checkout for the wine opener because we had brought wine with no wine opener
The
and
wine opener? The wine
or
opener.
the corkscrew,
Yeah, that would be
a
the word
wine
for it,
opener.
Kelly.
Shut up. Anyway, we all I wanted to do was not communicate with any other human beings because I was definitely not in the right headspace. And then it wouldn't work at self checkout. And the lady kept coming over and having a conversation with us. And I literally
And we
put
were
my
like, "Oh
hand
my
up
God, don't talk to us." But
because
like,
I thought
we
this
were
would
at
work.
that point, we were like, well, it's not kicking in. Let's just run over to Superstore so we can drink wine.
Yeah.
And that's when it kicked in. Like, it was
Yeah.
literally like you could see the hotel from where it was. It wasn't far, but it was just like, oh shit, it kicked in. And it kicked in. And then
And
remember
then
when we got to the elevator?
so we walked in, and it was like we didn't want the guy at the front desk of the Days Inn in Moose Jaw knowing that we were high. Number one, like he cares. But there was an entire volleyball team. I think there was a tournament that weekend. So they
Yeah.
were all running into the elevator, and I was like, absolutely not. We will wait. So I am feeling the braille on the wall below the floor number.
Uh-huh.
And now we're not having a conversation. I'm just feeling the braille and trying to figure out how this works. We got
Right. I
in the
remember it was like
elevator.
Why don't they just make it in the shape of a one, like,
Yeah.
or in the
Why
shape
does
of
it
an
have to
A?
be the way that the dots are set up the way they are? Like, I don't understand it, which is fair. And I still have never found out because I can see, so I don't need to necessarily right now.
Right.
But then we got in the elevator and had a whole conversation about Braille and why it wasn't set up that way. And then we realized we had stood in the elevator for about 10 minutes without hitting the button for our
Touching the button.
floor, just having a conversation about Braille. And I know there's a security cam footage with some poor security guard at Days Inn just shaking his head at the middle aged women because I think that was my 35th birthday. Oh
Oh
no,
my
it would have
God.
been less than that, but it was like it's so embarrassing. And then we went back and that's when we realized how funny everything was.
Yes. Everything was
And
so
you
funny.
at that
And we
point
wanted
started
to eat
talking about
all the
chips.
things. What's that?
You started talking about chips at that point, and you
All I
did
wanted
not
was chips and
stop
dip.
stop talking about chips until you finally went to get them like 5 hours later.
And then I brought them back and I didn't even eat them.
Yeah, but that was when you told the poor pizza delivery girl that we were lesbians.
And she was just like, okay, just like give me my money so that I can leave. Like, you get the panic on her face was just like, what is happening?
Yeah, this wasn't information I needed. But
Yeah.
she had asked if we were sisters when she came in because we were laughing. And you said,
Nope, we're
we're
lesbians.
lesbians. Yeah, let's not forget the fact that you said it like that. We're lesbians.
Lesbians.
That poor woman. I think about her often and how I wonder if she
Where is
told
she?
anyone.
Yeah, are we those people that she tells the story about like the weirdest thing that ever happened to her? And she, like, one time I was delivering a pizza and these fucking weird girls.
Yes,
Oh God.
absolutely. And it's not weird girls. We were middle aged women. Like we were
We were just
early to
girls.
mid 30s for sure.
We were
And you
just
just
girls.
froze. Well, there you go.
But you just froze for a second.
Yeah, so
Can
did
you
you.
hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Am I
I'm like
moving?
totally falling off of my bed here.
You're sitting on your bed? I didn't know that.
Well, where else would I be doing? Like, oh, just,
I thought you had a stool
holding
then.
a squat.
Yeah. Listen, you could. This is going to be our new workout.
This whole like 20-minute squat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was, and then we went home the next day and continued parenting,
Yeah.
taking our kids to dance,
Yeah.
just
And
being
the
normal
nice
moms.
thing about an edible is you sleep amazing,
Yeah. Woke up,
and
felt
you're not
amazing.
hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it didn't require me to eat 82 kilograms of food every single time, and it
Oh
doesn't
my
matter what
God.
food,
Oh
hence the
God.
cardboard popcorn you ate that one time.
I remember I was like shoveling it in my mouth and like, this is so gross, but I could not stop. Like, I ate the whole bag and it was gross.
Yeah. And
But
that
you,
was the night that I ate the entire large bag of beef jerky
beef
and I was
jerky.
all the sodium. My like feet swelled up.
Oh my God, Kelly, we could go on forever because now I feel like I want to talk about what else happened that night. But I think we need to save that for the next. Maybe that'll be the story we tell about our friendship next podcast.
Yes.
The night that Kelly ate all the beef jerky and I ate the cardboard popcorn and what happened prior to that. Yeah, we'll definitely do that next time.
Okay. Good, because
Yeah.
I actually don't remember what happened prior to it.
Okay. Well, I'll remind you next time.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, we could go on and on forever, but let's just do a quick like rapid fire who is most likely to, with just like quick answers and just to see if like we agree. Um okay, I have a list here. You ready?
Hmm.
Who's more likely to be late?
Neither of us.
Neither of us.
There is under no circumstances are any of us going to be late if we have any control over the situation. And if we don't have control over the situation, somebody's going to die that day. It
Oh,
is
the
anxiety
anxiety.
inducing.
Oh my God, I can't. I can't.
Look,
I
I
hate
get
rushing.
sweaty thinking about being late.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we both agree on that. Who gives better advice?
We give very different advice.
Yes, it depends
You
on what it
are
is.
like a follow your heart feelings advice
And
person,
you're
and I'm
very
a practical.
logical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything and honestly, it's that carries over to gifts because you are very thoughtful in your gifts and I'm very practical.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Who spends more money on coffee? I
Oh,
think
I
you
think I
I
do.
think you
Yeah.
do, yeah. Because I don't
Yeah.
necessarily go out for coffee often. I usually just make it at home. So,
Yeah,
and I
and I'm
think you
lazy.
will get a Starbucks every once in a while, and I'm not really a big, yeah,
Yeah. I spent a lot of money in Fargo on coffee.
on Starbucks specifically, or you're like,
No, it
speaking
was a
of coffee, let me
yeah,
just,
no, it was a place called Caribou Mountain
oh,
Co. or something, and it was good coffee, but it was very expensive because it was
yeah,
American, so
America,
Merca.
America. Okay, oh, this is a good one. Who is more likely to start a new hobby? Both of us. I think we're like, well, I think,
I feel like you start more hobbies. I feel like I talk about starting
I
more
guess
hobbies.
so.
I feel like you have more follow through than I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I feel like there's a lot of things I want to do, but you will just go out and like head first buy everything that you need and you will try it though. Whereas if there have been times that I've done the same thing and then it just sits in a box, never to be
Yeah.
touched again.
I think the only problem with that is I agree. I do buy all the things, but sometimes if I don't love it, it falls off and then I have all the things and I've spent a ridiculous amount of money and I'm sure it drives my husband crazy because he's like, "You bought what? You bought more?" Like so.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is more stubborn?
I personally think that I am.
And I kind of feel like I am. No, you are.
Yeah. I when I have decided something is the way it is, I need somebody to articulate scientifically that they are correct. Like if I decide the
Yeah.
sky is green, I'm gonna need a scientist to prove to me that I'm wrong. And not that I'm that smart, I just am that stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, you're more stubborn. I can't really think of reasons why that is, but I just feel like, yeah, you'll like dig your heels in. You'll be like, nope, I'm right. You're wrong. Period. End of story.
Yeah. Point blank.
Okay. Did you see that? There was just lightning.
Oh, I didn't because I have
I,
my back to the window, you weirdo.
but like in the camera, it's like facing me. No. Okay. Uh, who is most likely to cry during a movie?
So this is the time that I will cry, which
Yes.
doesn't make any sense to what I said before about publicly crying.
Right, but
Because
you're
if
in
it
the
has to
dark
do
and
with my
nobody can see you.
emotions, even if it's I can be sitting on the couch, Winter will be looking at me if we're watching a movie
Yeah.
because he knows that's the one time that I do cry. I very rarely cry outside of movies because I feel like it's a loss of control of the emotion. Whereas if something is, and you know, I will watch emotional porn. I want to watch the dogs when the military service members come home. I want to watch the kids get hearing for the first time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm absolutely a
Or when like
crier.
babies put glasses on and they're like oh, I love it
I
so
love
much.
it.
So cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Also me, I will cry. I feel like I'll cry during a movie too, but I'll cry at moments where maybe you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Or like even at a concert. Like remember when we saw Chris Stapleton and I was crying and you looked at me and went,
Gay.
"Gay."
Yeah. And I
I'm
stand
like,
behind it. Even though
no.
I felt the same emotions, I'm not
Oh
going to
my
lose
God,
control in
that
public.
man. I can't. I can't. The sound of his voice, I can't. Anyways, okay. Two more questions. Who would survive longer on a reality TV show?
So it depends on the TV show because number one, you watch reality TV and I don't. So I feel like you would
Right.
know the ins and outs better of a lot of the shows.
Okay.
But if they're not about dating, I feel like it would be me. Like
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure
like
it
if it
would
was a
be you.
dating reality show, it would be you because you are like you're more feminine in that respect. Like men would find you more appealing. And I mean that like in the you're you're a nicer person than I am. Whereas I would be looking at them like, what's up, loser? Why are you on the show?
Honestly, though, when it comes to men, like I have a hard time not being like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like if it had to do with like, like a social game,
Mm-hmm.
you would do better because I'm really bad for I get in my head and I feel like then I'm coming across. I think the word that you've used is that I come across as very aloof, and then people don't know how to take me or approach me. So I think you're good at having conversations with anybody, and I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you. I'll just sit there silent, and that wouldn't fare well in a reality
Yes.
show.
I
So
feel like that goes against it. Plus, if it was anything survivalist, I think I would last longer than you.
for sure you would, because I'd be like, ew, my hands are dirty.
I broke a
Oh my god, I
nail.
broke a nail.
As somebody who would be devastated to break a nail, like I love that we both threw out the same thing, knowing full well we'd both be upset. But like, I could boost a car if I needed to.
Oh yeah, no, no. I'd be like, can somebody
Kelly.
help me? Kelly. Okay, the last one I feel like is pointless because we already talked about it, but it was who's more of a hugger? Obviously me.
Yeah.
Duh. Duh.
And I think when I articulated to you the other day that I will allow myself to feel uncomfortable to make other people comfortable, that was eye opening for me because somebody said, like, if you don't like to be hugged, why do you hug people? And it was like, well, I don't want other people that when that is something that they like to do to feel uncomfortable when I reject them.
You could just be like Howie Mandel and just be like, I don't,
Fist
you're like
bump.
that, yeah, that you're like an extreme germaphobe and just be like, no, get away from me. Because I feel like he'll just be like, no,
Yeah.
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 So, okay. And so the last thing we want to talk about, which we will also bring up each week, is what do you love about where you are at right now?
So,
So, not necessarily physically where you're at, but like where you're at in your life, where you're at mentally, where you're at. Yeah.
well, I'm going to go with where I'm at physically right now because sometimes it's difficult for us to spend time together because we're
Yeah.
both so busy. And now that we're making an effort with the podcast, and we've had a date every month this year as well, I think it's just being able to spend time together while we can before you leave is what I like about right now.
Yeah. I agree. I was gonna say the same thing. Like I
Gay.
there's gay. The one thing is like I was actually thinking about it this morning about how like it used to be that when we got together, it would be at your place. And
Hmm.
now it's always at my place because I'm allergic to your dogs. But yeah, it was just like how lucky I am that we are in a place right now where we can get together and we can yeah, like what a couple weeks ago we got together and we made the pottery together. Now we're going to paint it. Like yeah, this intentional that I have the space in my life to be intentional with the people that are most important to me.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. And
yeah.
a lot of that I think has to do with our kids getting older because it kind of upended a huge part of our time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's our first
Awesome.
episode.
That's our first episode. So what are we going to talk about
Yeah.
next week?
So next week, we're going to talk about being a girl's girl and decentering men and yeah, like whether or not women benefit from having male friendships. So that's basically what we'll chat about, and then we'll briefly talk about when you ate all the beef jerky as well.
Yeah, apparently there's a story that I need to be reminded of. We have a lot of
Yes.
stories about eating food, and now we eat healthy food.
Yeah,
And it's
ish, ish,
ish. Yeah. I
ish.
did.
We're
Yeah.
we're just a little more mindful of it now. It's not just like let's just inhale all the food we can.
Yeah. Which is the reason we don't take edibles anymore.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Gay.